Another week, gentlemen.
Another day, another done.
What a weekend it was.
It was indeed. Great sport on the week. Hey, just really quickly, would you guys be keen to see an Anzac Test? Wallabies, All Blacks, as an annual event. Put the Bledisloe Cup on the line and have that as a little bit of sports watching on Anzac Day.
Yes.
Yeah, so you say one and done?
One and done,
For
baby.
the Bledisloe?
Well, to be fair, the whole Bledisloe format never really made sense to me anyway.
Neither.
What, you win it, all you got to do is win one of the games anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're the current
Well, it
holder
used
of
to be
it.
three. Used to be best of three.
Yeah,
But
scrap it. Go put it all on the line, boys.
One and done, I agree with that too. But you know the guys, and they're going, well, we've got so much history here, and you know we can't. So many people have gone
Stuff
before
the history,
us.
bro.
You want eyes, lad. One and done.
Roll with the times.
Brook, you've hit the nail on the head. NZR has kiboshed it, said no, it's not for us.
Oh,
There
this was
will
a thing
not
and they've
be-
already
it
said
was
no?
actually a thing. And Australian rugby reached out, and New Zealand rugby said no.
Well done, Australian
yeah.
rugby. Well done.
Nah, I appreciate their angle for it. They'll use the Anzac spirit as why they want to play the match, but really they don't want to face our boys twice.
They want nothing to do with this noise. All right, gentlemen, let's get into the show.
Play on.
Round two.
My mate to the left here. One heck of a career you've had, man.
To be able to be in this space, announce my retirement.
Okay, let's go.
LeBron James, a shot at history.
And the Panthers have done it again. 4 premierships in a row.
A black wave pouring through Paris 2024. Back to black. New Zealand champions.
Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
6 of the best from Auckland FC.
We need a halfback.
I'm not playing.
I'm in, baby. I'm in. Play on.
What's up? What's up, MVPs? Welcome back for another week of Play On. It was a big week in the sport. Shout out to Betcha for allowing us to do this. Shout out to YOUKNOWMEDIA as well for allowing us to have this platform. We got a big show this week, lads. We got a big show. Man, there's a lot of sports to get through, and I'm excited to get through it, but we got some stuff off the back of it. But some talking topics that, man, we have to dive into. We're not going to do it now, but Shaun, I'm excited to get the breakdown of DCE.
Oh, yeah. There's been a bit happening overnight.
Oh.
Been a bit happening overnight. So it is a very interesting situation, and one I must say I'm quite familiar with myself. So,
Yep.
we'll get into that for sure.
Marc, what's going on the show today, baby?
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We do have to review, obviously, the matchups, the Betcha matchups that you guys put down on paper. And so we'll quickly run through those and see who wins this week. Just a reminder, Brook is up 2-1 at the moment in the Betcha matchups. So, Shaun, you're looking for a comeback. Of course, you got on the table last week. He's hoping you do it again.
Oh, yeah.
We're also going to do a little bit of Can We Talk, where we've all got a topic that we wanted to discuss through the sporting weekend. You've already alluded to the fact, Shaun, you're interested in DCE, leaving Manly. I'm upset. I'm upset that FIFA has robbed the opportunity of young Kiwi football fans to have to face struggle. And perhaps it's my age, but I want to discuss that as well.
Well, I look forward to that.
And Brook, you're
I'll
you're
talk about
interested-
MVPs and who.
Can you win an MVP? Can you win an MVP?
If you don't win the competition, can you get Clive Churchill, for example? Can you get Finals MVP? I just want to have a chat around that because the ANBL, which is the Australian National Basketball League, there's something interesting over the weekend. So we'll dive into that as well.
And we'll finish it up with a little bit of a salute to the Kiwi Auckland City Kickboxing team after another wonderful win by Mr. Allberg.
Well done, Carlos.
Black Jag.
The Black Jag,
Yeah,
baby.
I just wanted to play a little Guess Who with you guys. So,
Do we have a Shaun Hub in there?
yeah, we've got a little Shaun Hub in there too.
Actually,
Yeah, we'll
What
add
a
one in
show,
there.
man.
I got one thing that I actually, Shaun, you don't know this, but I've got one thing that if you're willing to play the game, you don't have to play the game as well.
No, I
but
don't
just to wrap the show up on, you don't want to do it?
No, I don't want to do it.
That's, you know what? That's so fine too. You don't have to do
I'm
it.
done with it because I've made a promise to myself, boys, this week. No more crashing out. And I've got a feeling Brook's going to try to take me there straight away. So, nah.
What is crashing out? That's when you get emotionally over the top. You start yelling and screaming. That crashing out.
Yeah, I wish cancel culture was the thing so I don't have to go through all this again.
All right, let's get into the Betcha results and see where we went wrong or where we went right. And gentlemen, it was a big week. And Shaun, you got on the table last week, which was, that's a start.
Look at the head moving down there, boys.
A nod.
Hey, yo.
So let's run through the results. And of course, we had a bit of NRL early on Friday evening. It's Thursday actually, wasn't it? Storm taking on Panthers. The Storm, 30 points to 24 winners over the Panthers. And Shaun, well, You got that right.
Yeah, I did. It was probably a little bit closer than we all thought, especially with Cleary exiting the field in the early stages of the game. But nonetheless, happy to get the mug up on the board. Nothing to really take out of that game. I'm sure both sides will be looking to move on fairly quick.
I actually thought it was interesting, Shaun, at the start of the year you did say that where the Panthers may miss Luai the most would be if, in fact, there was an injury to Cleary.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to have to... Well, they're going to show us all early stages of the comp because next Thursday I think they play and Cleary will not be cleared in time through his HIA, so he's got stand-down protocols. So we're going to get a red-hot look at what the Panthers are all about. And as they've shown, better than anyone, to win 4 on the trot, all right, you need depth. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go next week.
I like that. Matchup number 2 was on Friday. It was the first T20 between the White Ferns and Australia. Brook, you were up. You took the White Ferns and you lost. Australia winning that game quite comprehensively. I think it was by 8 wickets.
I mean, it was close. It was only 8 wickets. You know, we still put up 137.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on.
It was the small boundaries.
Small boundaries.
I don't know how I feel about that, really. I would have taken...
Shaun, I think you're quite happy.
Always,
you're quite happy with your face up there again.
Man.
Yeah, that's 2-0 to Shaun. Then we go to Super Rugby in matchup number 3. Shaun, you were all about Moana Pacifica.
Hell yeah, you were.
Oh, was I? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, we're still counting this?
Well, I imagine so.
Whoa. Pump the brakes there, Matua. I'm sorry here, Brook, but we might just have to sit on this one a little bit because with Betcha, we get given odds. And in this case, the odds weren't what were presented to me, I'm sorry. So that, in fact...
You saying it's a dead rubber?
It's a dead rubber through and through.
Well, I think, what Shaun is referring to is probably my fault.
Probably, no, don't do the probably.
100%
No, Mark, I'll do you, but I think I'm going to support you here a little bit.
Yeah, 100% my fault in the sense that I took the location of the game off the Tribe app, and this is no disrespect to the Tribe app. I love the Tribe app. I think a lot of sports users in Aotearoa, they love the Tribe app as well, but it still had that it was being played in Tonga, which wasn't actually the case because the lights had blown out in Tonga, so the game was played in Pukekohe.
So I actually knew this. So it's not like it wasn't common knowledge. If you're going to come on this show, come correct. All right? Know your business.
Yeah, that's
so when he was going, well, Nuki Lava, shot toko, I was thinking to myself, well, okay, maybe he knows something I don't. But from every article that I had read, they're not going on a plane overseas.
I know for one, you don't read. Can't read. So how about let's just pump the brakes real quick.
There's a lot of words that I can't read out loud, but I can read in my head. All right? And I read where it was, and it said Pukekohe. I said, well, that's funny. And I also saw Adi Savier's not playing. But you do your thing.
Oh, no, it's
and
not.
You still go and bet on them.
Hey.
You do your thing.
Hey,
you make your bed.
I've played alongside a few Tongans in my time, Matua. And if they got to go home and play in front of their people, I know that's more than enough.
Yeah, but
they would have had 15 Arties out there that day, I tell you.
Do your research before you get in that chair, all
Now,
right?
Brook, don't you dare.
Hey.
Don't you dare put down our Matua like that by saying do your research to our godfather.
I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you.
No, you are. You are.
He made a
because he's the one
mistake,
that
you jumped in on it.
He put the odds to us.
See that beard?
He put the odds to us.
He made it, now
So
sleep
to
in
me, that's a dead rubber because the Betcha matchup wasn't as displayed. That's all I'm saying.
I can tell you this much for free. The odds that were on display when we did do it, and that was $1.13 and $5.25, did count into the fact that they were being played at Pukekohe. So
you hate to see it.
The facts were there, other than that I got the Pukekohe part wrong.
Yeah, but I'm not a favourite back in Matua.
You aren't?
You know. And
You're
when you
not.
tell me that a team's playing in Tonga,
Yeah.
with a lot of heritage in Tonga, that right there changes the odds. Now, I wouldn't understand. I wouldn't expect you two to understand that.
No.
Okay?
No.
But
I knew
if
that.
you're trying to tell me that, the odds are the odds because they're in Pukekohe. No, they're not. You play it in Tonga, it's a completely different game. Just saying.
But
You play
those-
with Adi Savier, it's a completely different
The
game too,
odds
but
that
you didn't
were
know he wasn't
15
playing either.
15 Adi Saviers, I've already tried to tell you.
You know what? On the backs of Brook doing his research, he wins that round.
Thank you so much. Hey, for the integrity of what we're trying to do here, Mark, you made the right call, Ofatu. All right? Because if you don't do that, Mark, we might as well stop doing this show right now.
Shaun,
Let's get rid of this part. But for the
remember what you
integrity
said.
of what
No,
we're
I
doing,
know what I
Mark,
said. I know what I said.
you did the right thing.
Okay.
Just
Off us.
no. For the sake of our MVPs, please do not talk about integrity again. Please do not talk about it again.
All right, matchup number 4,
my face there,
UFC 254, and what a fight it was. Jan Blachowicz taking on Carlos Ulberg. And Brook, you went with the decision, and it was a decision.
Went the whole way. Yeah, Carlos, congratulations to Carlos. This is the biggest name. Jan Blachowicz took 2 years off. You still have to go and fight a bad man with Polish power. He's 42. I think he probably has to have one more fight before the title. It just, there's some big names that are still up there. It was, he got the job done, but there's still some question marks around. Did he win? I think he absolutely won, but some people think Jan won the last round. It came down to that last round. So I think he probably has one more fight before the title, but keeps climbing. His biggest name. He looked comfortable in the ring. His distance was great. He was trying to get that left check. He didn't quite get it, but defense was good. Jan, tried to press a little bit there as well. So congratulations, Carlos.
Yeah.
I'll take that dub as well.
Congrats, Blackjack. Well done, baby.
And final matchup was the Chinese Grand Prix.
I
Liam
wanted
Lawson.
Shaun to get this one.
Yeah, I think we all wanted Shaun to get this one.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson, top 10 finish. I think he ended up finishing 14th in the end.
Finished the race, though.
It did finish the race. It was a tough race. And Liam Lawson has been in all the Formula One headlines, which is no small feat. Probably not for the right reasons, though, as Red Bull look to make a change in their racing driving setup.
What a cutthroat sport, eh?
Yeah.
bro.
As savage as they come, the more that we are getting invested in this, the more we're realizing exactly how small the margins are up there, eh? And the one thing that's fascinated me about hearing a lot of these drivers, a lot of these team principals talk about pace. When they talk about their car not having pace, bro, they're like tenths of a second off.
That's the silliest thing, eh?
It's like 240 k's an hour.
Bro, the difference between like getting like pole and finishing like fifth on the grid is like under a second, bro. And when, the best is when they do the graphic of like Verstappen versus Lando Norris, and that's like they're racing.
Yes.
They're on top of each other the whole way, and then
Whole way.
then Verstappen will come out after and be like, the car just didn't have pace today. And it's like, bro, you were literally like 1,000th of a second off being P1. So
It's a game of margins, eh?
it is, bro. But look, Liam, brother, if you ever hear this chat, just know that we got your back through and through,
Always,
all right? And we will never lose faith in backing our Kiwi up there. So whatever car he's in, we don't actually care. Hey,
Yep.
you're in a seat that
Get
only
in a
20
Prius,
people get
brother.
to feel,
We're still
baby.
supporting you.
Let's go. Hey, Liam Lawson all the way.
It does mean that Brook gets another face, though, and therefore he takes out the week, putting him at 3-1 at the moment in the season scoreboard. Just really quickly on the Liam Lawson
Go read
thing
some
too.
articles before next week, buddy.
Really quickly on the Liam Lawson, you didn't need to do that. Didn't need to rub it in. Liam Lawson, whatever happens and moves forward, and you would hope that he finds his confidence again, because the game is all about confidence. And Shaun, you've referred to confidence in sports before.
You've lost Shaun, bro. He ain't even listening
He's
to
not
you at
even
this
listening.
point.
You know what? We
Remember-
love you, Liam. All the very best.
Whoa, Kimo-san.
Play on.
This is a little wee segment we like to call Can We Talk?
Yeah, we can.
For a minute.
Look, basically a lot happened over the sports weekend. We want to make sure that we're talking about all the things that took our eye. And so that's what I was thinking, like just like a nice little, like a ramble. I felt like the end of the last segment, it was haunted. It got a little bit heated. And so this is kind of like, nice free feeling music. So I'm going to start off by talking about the football. As you would have known,
Soccer football.
Monday evening this week, the All Whites, the mighty All Whites, they qualified for the 64 teams that will be taking part.
The All
48
Whites.
teams. 48
Let's give him a
teams.
round of applause, Matua.
Here's
Come on.
the thing. It's a great achievement. It's always a great achievement when we get to take part in the World Cup finals.
I feel a butt coming.
However,
Yes.
we've only done it 3 times. This is a big occasion, and it becomes a big occasion because of the struggle that's involved with it. And what FIFA has done by expanding the World Cup, not only, in my opinion, has it watered down the cordial when it comes to what quality will turn up. It's no longer just 30. Is it 32 teams that was there?
It was, yeah.
It was 32 teams. Now there's going to be 48 teams. 48 teams will now be there at the World Cup.
Damn.
It's going to go over 3 different countries, Canada, Mexico, and the United States, the World Cup 20. That's not what my gripe is. My gripe is we will no longer have the Bahrain moments. We will no longer have the heroship of the 82 World Cup team that got to go along, that qualified and earned the right to be at a World Cup where there are only 32 teams will take place.
Be careful here, Matua.
Now, I live near Eden Park, and I saw some very happy kids walking with some pretty stoic dads. Dads that had been through struggle. Dads that had seen adversity, but knew fair well what has happened with FIFA and what has happened for the All Whites and for New Zealand football, which is a great thing, don't get me wrong. I think this team that we have right now could have qualified the hard way, could have made those final 32. I think we're good enough, I think we've got the squad, but we will never know because of the gifted spot that has been given to our division now. The Oceania Federation has now been gifted a spot along with other teams. And what it tells me is that the next World Cup in 2026, we're going to have a whole heap of teams there that are undercooked, that don't deserve to be there. Now, I'm not saying the All Whites don't deserve to be there. I believe fully that they would have made it through if they'd taken the old school way of doing it, and we would have seen adversity. But we would have had a playoff with the next qualifier from the South Americans. We would have seen a real game of footy. We would have seen Eden Park sell out, and we would have had another Bahrain moment. But we've been robbed of that due to FIFA and its expansion, and we know why they expanded. Infantino wanted more votes from different regions. He knew he'd get it if he opened up the World Cup, and therefore it's a whole FIFA corruption, taking away adversity from us, and we don't get to qualify how we used to.
All right, Matua. What? Hey,
Man, you can be angry at me. I'm not hating on the All Whites here. I'm not hating on.
To be fair, I'm not angry at that. Okay, I'm not angry at that. Your take is your take. And I do respect you coming forward to that, because this really come about. I sent a little message last night saying, how did we miss this? How did we miss All Whites playing in our backyard? And Martu has just told you exactly pretty much what he replied with to us.
Missed it? What have we done?
We've missed nothing.
We've beaten New Caledonia.
Now, the only thing I have in
Fiji.
there, the only thing I have in there
We've
is
thrashed Fiji.
Chris Wood had 3
given
years.
a spot and earned a spot, okay? At the end of the day, I don't think this position is gifted. I just can't cop that from an athlete's point of view. These boys go out there in the middle of Eden Park. Still, next year we're there. Great vibe, great atmosphere. Joyous moment. A beautiful moment to experience. I think it was earned, bro. I genuinely do. I think just saying sitting here on the couch or in the comforts of our seat that gifted, not earned. I feel like that's probably the wrong way to go about it.
Oceania has been gifted a spot into the World Cup finals. Oceania,
but still,
right?
Oceania has, but it's still earned by the All Whites.
You'll have to earn that gifted spot, but it's a gifted spot. It's been gifted to the finals, and that is where my gripe is at. Okay. Not with the All Whites, not with how well they played, and of course you've got to put 7 past Fiji to get there, the finals. You've got to put 3 past New Caledonia to go along and make it through. I get all of that, but what it's done is you've absolutely taken the pinnacle of world football and you've put more teams in it, and you've got more games, and it's going to be teams that haven't been through the adversity that they normally would have had to get to that final 32.
Hear what you're saying. Can I just throw 2 options at you? Would you rather have a Bahrain moment or play against Lionel Messi at the World Cup? As an athlete or as a supporter? If I'm a 6-year-old, I'm going, I want to see Chris Wood take on Lionel Messi at the World Cup.
Yep.
If I had to pick one of the 2. Don't get me wrong. 2 great options. But I'm probably going, wow, I want to one day play the Lionel Messi of the future.
Yep.
It is possible. I just saw Chris Wood do it. He went really well. I'll take that one.
I'll pose this question to you then.
Counter my counter.
I'm just going to go on storylines alone. When you have a sold-out Westpac Stadium for that Bahrain game,
you got me.
Westpac, was Westpac Stadium back then. It's now the Cake Tin, whatever. When you have that, when you've managed to create a storyline where people are so invested in it, then they invest more when it comes to World Cup time. And that football team that went to the World Cup, I don't even think we lost a game. I think we drew all our matches. And I'd never been so happy for a draw because of the struggle and the effort that had been put into it. But here's the thing. There's going to be a whole heap of people going, shut up. We're at the World Cup. Cool. You know what you're at? You're at the World Cup. You're at the Timu World Cup. It's now got more teams with it.
Don't do that.
Nah, do it. I feel like that's Matua's energy on this. I'm happy for him to go there.
Yeah. No. Hey, congratulations, All Whites. I will be watching the 2026 World Cup. I think we should go along now that I've said that.
Let's try to get there.
Yeah,
imagine if we were
Mexico.
there. Damn, this clip would age really well if we ended up there. Eh?
Oh, blessings. Anyway, that's my Can We Talk?
What do you got, Brook? What do you got?
Real quick one today. It's just so the NBL, the Australian NBL, which is going from strength to strength. I would say it's probably a top 5 league in the world at the moment. Basketball competition. They just finished the league, and it was the Melbourne United versus Illawarra Hawks in the final. It went to Game 5. It was back at Illawarra. Every home team had lost at home. Game 5 comes around. Illawarra finally wins it. It's this big celebration. They're a smaller club. Jason Tatum's dad is actually the coach of the Illawarra Hawks, so there's kind of a little bit of hype around that. But Illawarra wins, and in my mind, I think when you win a competition, you deserve to have the finals MVP. Didn't go down like that. The NBL has a voting system per game, and it ended up going to Matthew Dellavedova, who you may remember used to play with LeBron in the NBA. He is actually an NBA champion as well. He ended up winning MVP. He gave the MVP trophy away. But when we're sitting here, do you think that the winning team is the only team that can win MVP? Or is that just a majority of us? But do you think you can win if you're on a losing side as well?
100%.
You can win MVP if you're not on a losing side?
100%.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
100%. And this is actually a really good talking point, by the way, because it ties into, we asked the question to our MVPs, what did they see over the weekend?
Right.
And what you've just brought up came back a lot in the answers.
So you think, I don't want to stay on this for too long, because I really want to get into this DCE chat.
Not.
Like LeBron, so when LeBron played the Warriors, Andre Iguodala actually ended up winning MVP, but LeBron he was clearly the best player. But Andre Iguodala got it because he marked LeBron. I still somehow don't feel like LeBron should have got it. I think he deserved it, but should have got it. Two very different things, because he was on the losing side. It's so black and white for me.
Yeah.
That I just think that if you are a part of the winning team, you should get MVP.
No, well, it's like saying if your team doesn't finish top seed with the best record in the NBA, can you win MVP? Right?
Yeah, but they're normally on the winning side of things. Like their teams would be top 3 or 4.
I think the most valuable player,
and over a season as opposed to over a game or.
I've got an example,
games
actually, guys. I've actually got an example. It's just come to mind. All right, let's take you back to 2008. Touch Nationals, secondary school Touch Nationals, where the great Ottawa College went down there and played Hamilton boys, who, by the way,
stacked,
had a heap of seventh formers, the O'Donnell brothers and the likes. Tawa to Kurt Barlow. Yeah, I remember you boys. Don't worry about that. But anyway, they beat us in the final. All right, they beat us handsomely. They were far too good. But your boy got an MVP, lads. And I was the best player. I'll back myself. I was the best player. So if someone was to say to me, nah, Shaun, you don't deserve it because you didn't win, I'd be like, well, shush, I'm the best player here. Give it to me right now.
I think the idea behind MVP as well
Selfish.
is it's most valuable player, right? So it's the player who was the most valuable during those finals. So it doesn't matter who wins the final necessarily. You'd hope that their value
was
ultimately
enough?
led to a win, but it doesn't mean out and out. We play a sports
It just
game.
feels wrong to me.
And I think it feels wrong to you, Brook, because you follow basketball so strongly where there's only 5 players. But when you look at other sports where there's so many more little extra pieces involved, you actually work out that it takes more than the sum of one person to actually win.
Smarter.
Who wins the Clive Churchill every time?
Majority of the time it would be a player from the team that won the grand final.
I mean,
But
I
say
actually thought
2019, Jack Wyden won it. Okay,
was
they
on the losing
lost.
side.
Yeah, but he was the best player on the field, bro. You know, the argument there was should have been like, who was it, Carey or something? Because I think that was the year Cronk had the busted shoulder and Carey did a lot of the heavy lift. It was something like that.
The Roosters one?
Yeah, the Roosters one. But it was like, you can't argue, bro. He carried the Raiders to even make that competitive, that game. You know, like, there's some,
I do
that's
hear
a
what
great
you're
point,
saying.
Matua.
I do hear what you're saying.
Great point, mate.
And I kind of agree with that. I just think the winning side deserves to have
Yeah.
MVP. That's all I'm trying to say.
I like that he handed it over, though.
Okay, can I just real quick answer on this, because I know the MVPs really wanted to hear our take on just this bit.
Yeah.
I know you sort of worded a little bit different. Was what Daly did acceptable?
He was great.
Like,
he was great.
in terms of handing over the award to.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
would have
play
done the
on?
same thing. What I didn't like is that you put him in a really bad spot because he wins MVP. He's getting booed left, right, and center from the crowd.
So he's almost,
And
right.
so he's standing there, picks up this MVP. He's just lost, so he's sad about losing the game. Probably doesn't really care too much about MVP. Boo, boo. And so this MVP doesn't even really get to enjoy the MVP as well.
Yep.
But I think he did the right thing and gave it to Hickey because Hickey was incredible.
My last question for you, Shaun. If Dellavedova didn't have an NBA title, does he still hand over the MVP award?
Nah, he probably keeps it.
I'm putting that in the cabinet, dude.
Fill it out a little bit.
All right, boys. Again, off the back of what I asked our MVPs, they wanted to know all about this DCE stuff. Obviously, it was in the very entry-level stuff when I put the question out, and overnight it's sort of blown up. On 100% Footy on Channel 9, he sat on the desk and sort of broke down his decision into what's actually going on. And I don't know if our MVPs have actually listened to the interview in its entirety, but I was ready to come in here and sit in and go in. Back DC to the walls like, yeah, boy. Hey, you know your worth.
Get your money.
Get your money. Don't let age dictate nothing. You know, I was about to go in on it. But after hearing the chat, it sounds like it was very transparent. The dialogue, the conversations between two parties was very much transparent, open and honest, which is the first thing you want to hear. By the sounds of it, there's no animosity. This is coming straight from Cherry Evans' mouth, so I can't really make something up here. The bit that baffled me a little bit was where Manly came forward, and this is late last year, which I'm sort of trying to join the dots here, but I just can't at the moment, around Manly were only going to offer Cherry Evans a contract if another club did. Now, if I'm hearing that and I'm a player and I've been at your club, to me that's like, well, clearly you don't value me, mate.
I agree with that too, because it's like a slap in the face. He is, when I think of Manly,
He's
I
the
think
guy.
of him. I heard a stat that he's only missed 20 games on his career.
Yeah, this is where I draw a line in the field and I go, you have to park age. Clubs are so hung up on age and looking past and looking into the future. When if you look around the NRL right now, you tell me the top 3 halfbacks in the NRL, Cherry Evans is on that list. Forget the age.
I ain't going to argue with you.
All right? Forget the age. So just pay the man. If you really value him, don't be like, hey, Cherry Evans, we get where you're at, but mate, we actually really want you. You are our captain, what you've done for this club, and how you carry yourself. And let's not even just talk about what we see on the field for 80 minutes for the last 380,000 games you've seen. It's everything else that comes with that, how you approach the game, how you lead by example in all aspects of your life.
For
There's
state and
value
country.
there. There's value there, right? So it's not just a matter of, oh, okay, he's 36 now. How many more years can he do it? Who cares? He is playing top 3 level halfback quality football right now. And I bet you at the back end of last year, you probably you didn't think he was going to be doing this because you didn't offer him a contract.
Right.
So that's where I start to join the dots and go, well, I'm trying to join the dots to be fair and be like, man, Manly, you fumbled hard when you didn't back your man by just giving him a deal that he couldn't refuse. So it puts him in a position where, okay, let's be real amicable about it then, and both parties are happy just to see where the year takes you. On the flip side of that, if you're a club and if you're Cherry Evans, the only thing I would be wary about is that these clubs cannot wait. By the sounds of things of what Cherry Evans is wanting to do, get through the year, see where he lands at the end. Clubs can't wait, bro. Clubs have got to build their rosters out. Yeah, you can't just leave what Cherry Evans is worth sitting there just in case Cherry Evans decides to go around again or if he wants to come to our club. So it's like it can get really tricky. It can get really sticky really quickly. And that's what I'm interested to see how the rest of this year plays out, because right now it's all amicable. Everything's really well thought of. One thing I can't see happening is Cherry Evans playing at Manly next year regardless. I think that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear. And the fact that Manly come in with this 2-year contract on NRL 360 late.
What was it? So the story was DCE's announcing that he's not going to be at the club. He's in there having the conversation. Then all of a sudden the GM
Yeah, I think
goes
it's
in?
more of a save grace to try, for Manly anyway, to try and make their fans realise that they do want him. I think it's a little bit late though. That should have been their November 1 last year.
The question is now, do Manly fans take the bait and go, actually, this is a Daly Cherry Evans choice.
How do you not want to be here to finish your career?
Nah, they can't do that. He seemed like a one-club man. Shaun, if he's not at Manly,
Oh yeah, where
is?
If not there, then where?
Where is he next year?
I think he's going to go somewhere Queensland. I'll go somewhere Queensland. Now, I don't know exactly where. Can't see him obviously at the Broncos. Maybe not the Titans with Foz there. Dolphins maybe. Dolphins could be a possibility. North Queensland are in
Sounds
desperate
off the
need
top.
of a halfback.
I feel like where he goes next, he wants to win.
Man, actually, maybe it
Imagine if
is the Cowboys, bro.
Imagine that. They've got the pairing of the origin pairing.
Does something just happen there?
I think the lights just came on, boys. Did they just come on? Yeah, so let's
yes.
just watch that play out. But yeah, that's our that's good chat from the
That's
weekend
good chat.
sport.
Oh, there's plenty more we wanted to discuss too.
Oh, man.
the Liam Lawson, the little differences and the setup and how that's worked.
The Joshy Curran penalty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but I want to talk about that.
No, we don't have time.
Play on.
Gentlemen, on the backs of a wonderful victory by Carlos Alberg on the weekend, I wanted to take a moment just to give Auckland City Kickboxing its flowers. I think, I think peak Israel Adesanya was a moment where City Kickboxing kind of made its way into the mainstream, right? Like all of a sudden, One News and 3 News were reporting on it. The Herald was writing up on fights, and they've taken a sport that was generally frowned upon. I know when I was working at Radio Sport, like it was given no time at all. It was like prison violence, I believe was the favorite saying for the older generation. But again, they just keep churning out athletes that are beyond average. They are beyond just another name on the roster. They are making moves, and I felt like, you know what, no better way of making sure that we are giving them flowers than going through a couple of names on the roster. And gentlemen, as a part of that, I wanted to do a little thing we like to call the face swap. So let's start off with face number 1, and one of the guys on the roster who we all know. You guys have to guess who it's been mixed with, who that person has been mixed with. Sorry. Kai Cutter France with a nickname like Don't Blink. You know what you're gonna get with Kai. All effort, all class, all mana, with an overhand sent from the gods. Kai has dropped more blokes than the free fall at Rainbow's End. And right here we have Shaun Cutter France.
I'll tell you what, Shaun Cutter France would do some absolute damage. Bro.
Good name, bro.
Hey, you put Kai's skill in this athletically gifted body.
Wow.
This height. This frame?
You'd have to change divisions. That's as simple as that.
High stand and bang, brother. That's a good one.
All right, the next one. Tough as nails and ready for all times. This is Dan Hooker. He spent the last decade running it straight at the toughest division in the UFC. Once referred to by his teammates as Captain New Zealand, Hooker has fought the best of the best and put some of the bloodiest scraps ever seen in the octagon.
I could beat that guy up.
Nah. You know what? This is giving me.
That's disrespectful.
Nah, this is giving me Ben Affleck, the accountant vibes. He's a bad man.
You know.
He's a bad man, bro.
Sorry, Dan.
Hey,
I mixed you
he
with
listened
me
to heavy
this time
metal
around.
at night.
Yeah, this is Matua Hooker.
Dan's going to come and give us all a hiding for seeing that.
Thank you again. I just need to do a quick shout out. Pictures were made by Jared. So, Jared, thank you for that.
It does look good, though.
And the script was written by Neeks, who's our resident UFC man.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so who we
this
got
is gonna
number
be good.
3? Now we're giving flowers and paying tribute to the UFC boys at Auckland City Kickboxing. Next we have
The fuckling golem in here.
the new boys on the block.
This my precious.
Navajo has made an impression and impressive his UFC career. Brook, that is you and Navajo joined together.
Nah.
That is you and him joined together. Obviously, start off with a impressive start to the UFC career after dominating the local scene for years. Navajo will be looking to make more of a mark on the light heavyweight division in the near future.
Navajo, I sincerely want to apologise from the bottom of my heart, lad. That is unacceptable.
Brooke Sterling,
We cannot put Brooks.
Wait, hold on. Bring that back up.
Nah, let's move on, bro. I can't look at that
That's
anymore.
gorgeous.
What'd you do to the traps? This man has a great body.
I think it's
It's a
your
mix.
face that changed it.
Oh, that's my body? That makes sense.
All right. A shout out to the man who brings it all together.
Oh, of course, you got a good one.
Nah, that's messed up.
Nah, that looks good.
He looks wise. He looks incredible. Navajo, come and beat all these guys up for us.
That is, of course, Eugene Behrman. The brains behind the Brawlers. Eugene has been the mastermind behind CKB's incredible run over the last 10 years. His insight and coaching has led some of our best fighters to the biggest stages, coaching, cornering Izzy during his iconic title run.
That's good,
Yeah,
bro.
boys.
That fits. You know, like, Marc, you could be in the corner. Wise.
Yeah, probably not. Moving through, here's one that I enjoyed seeing.
Bro, see, that's a good one, too.
That's gorgeous. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Allberg, a.k.a. Shaun Allberg. The Black Jag has been on a tear in the last couple of years, pushing himself to the top of the light heavyweight division with his most recent win over former champion. Allberg looks to cement his run with a potential title shot on the horizon.
Am I going to be known as the Black Jag from this point forward?
You may be. Maybe. And finally, of course,
Nah, we're not doing this.
We
I
cannot
don't care.
forget.
Don't you dare, Marc. Don't you dare bring that up.
There he is.
I can't live with that.
Yeah.
Here he is,
Sorry,
Israel
Izzy,
Adesanya.
That's disrespectful to the style bender too, brother.
What
But I'm
more
taking
can
that.
we say about Izzy that hasn't already been said? One of the most dominant champions in the history of the UFC, reigning king
sir.
over the middleweight division for years. Izzy's legacy is going to be an all-time great and is undeniable. He's going to be on that wall that we saw, Brook, when we went through to the UFC.
UFC
Hey,
honors
man,
wall.
That's like a mix between Anthony Joshua and myself,
Nah.
Izzy. That's all right.
No, I see Izzy there.
That's all right.
I see a lot of
I'm
Izzy
glad
there.
it's closer to Izzy than it is. That's about an
100%.
80-20.
Look, all
But whoever
joking
the
aside.
Navajo and myself, you got to get the people's elbow.
Look, all joking aside, congratulations to UFC. Thank you for all the athletes who take part in the city kickboxing gyms, because you bring a lot of pride to this country. You bring a lot of joy to us as well.
100%, boys. Well done. Did someone say Shaun Hub?
Oh, yes, they do.
Shaun Hub.
Well, Shaun did. Nah, I thought this week, okay, obviously the Warriors got a great win. All right, let's get straight to the point. A massive win.
Wait. That win, sorry, Shaun, I know you want to get straight to the
Straight
point.
into it.
That
My jaw's
win, to me, was probably the most impressive win I've seen from the Warriors in the last 5 years.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
I'll tell you why I liked it.
Sean played him for those
It
years. That's
felt like an
crazy.
arm wrestle that we stood up for. It felt like an arm wrestle that we stood up for. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't something that was out of the... Like, this was up the middle. Felt like, to me, we actually got into an arm wrestle and we won the arm wrestle.
Woo, Marc. You
Best
should
in
love
the last
you
5
know,
years.
You're feeling yourself today, eh?
That Newcastle win. Woo,
First the All Whites, now me. Look, Mark, I love the... You know what? The Warriors won. I'm happy with that. But let's
No,
just
their
not go
best
any
win
further
in the
than
last
that,
5
all right?
years.
I mean, you want to take some of those wins off us in 23? Jeez. God damn. Oh, lordy.
Sorry, as you were.
Just on that, the Roosters are half the team they were the years I played. But hey, back to the point and why we are here. We won the match 14-6. Great win by the boys. Anytime you win at home against a Roosters outfit, it is very impressive. I do agree with that, Matua. But there's a play in particular which I reckon just summed up the night. And it's not actually a try, believe it or not. It's about a certain individual that I think has probably replicated what we've come to love from him, but in a different position. So it shows me that he is team first and that he's willing to do whatever it takes to contribute to a good performance for his side, and that is none other than Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Oh, the
Okay,
dance.
so there's a play where we see Roger make a try-saving tackle in the corner on Dominic Young. All right, and in a close match, we all sit there and we go, far out, what a play.
Yeah.
All right, Dom Young is hard to stop at the best of times, but this time in particular was just absolutely beyond me how he came up with this play. So let me break it down for you. We go back to the start. Roger defensively makes a great effort from Marc, and we call it axing, which is where you put the ball in the pocket, and usually the OBs come down, which are your winger and your centers.
You're going to have to slow down. Pocket, OB, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Break
yeah,
that down
keep
for
up
us.
with me now, eh? Shaun Hub's rolling, all right? So we put the ball in the pocket. Our centers and wingers chase down, make the tackle. Now, we always speak about axing from those parts of the field, which means just from marker, you chase out, you either force the attacker sideways or you get straight into his legs and help win that tackle. Now, that's a pretty fast movement. It's a pretty fast twitch fiber, just going bang, you know, pushing out, getting into the legs nice and quick. So Roger's done this. Roger's done his job, but in that movement alone, he has pulled his hamstring.
What?
He has tweaked his hamstring, believe it or not, all right? Now, I'm saying that now because what it leads to makes things even more impressive. But I'll put my hand up here. There was a 40-20 kick by Chad Townsend on last play.
I
And
remember that.
when I'm watching that unfold, I've gone, how does he kick that? Because it's last play, your wingers should be back. It should be like you're kicking to all three back there. And I've gone literally scratching my head into how that happened. As the tape rolls on, though, you see Roger on the end of the line limping. Okay, so you just see him hobbling a bit, and I go, okay, well, there you go. Roger can be excused. And by, like, bear with me here. I didn't know Roger had actually torn his hamstring by this point. But that's what makes this next play, like, unbelievable. And when you talk about winning moments in tight contests with small margins, this is what they look like. Now, the play in itself, to those at home, probably didn't look like much. You know, it was a special play, but I want to break down this movement.
Break this down now.
All right,
This
I
is
want to
what
break
wanna
down this
see and
movement.
want to
'cause
hear about.
the movement Roger made here, okay, we call it winning your 2v1 battle. Now, since Andrew Webster came to the club, he has preached this movement to us time and time again, to the point where every training session we rep it out 50 times, like at least. It's a part of warm-up. It's a primer to get you going for when you get into your bigger drills that hopefully you see this movement come out. And on the biggest stage, at a crucial time, we saw it come out. So a 2v1 battle is when you get off your launch pad. So you get off your line, you get to your launch pad, right? Which is an imaginary line which we say to ourselves subconsciously, we got to get to that line. Roger does that. Now, to the Roosters' credit, they run an unbelievable shape, all right? Usually you just run a block with your back row leading. James Tedesco comes out the back, you got a 3v2. This time, they let the ball go early to the back rower. The centre leads, so all of a sudden that gives Tedesco out the back a 2v1. Now, this is where the 2v1 battle comes into play. So Roger's seen that. He gets up. You got a fast Tedesco, the best in the world at executing this pass, coming at you. You've got Dom Young, arguably one of the fastest wingers in the competition, with not much space behind you. I want to add now the torn hamstring part, because this is where this just gets ridiculous. You get up to that launch pad, you've got to hedge your bet and not give up an inside shoulder so Tedesco can just run through on it and score a weak try.
You got to show him enough attention.
You got to show him enough respect and time that you can do that, but not be happy with Tedesco passing the ball. Get off that and make a read or make a play
At Dom Young.
Okay, so Roger gets up, boom, does it perfectly, gets enough of Dom Young to hit him out, and then you get Chancellor Clockstead coming over as insurance. To me, that play in itself sums up the Warriors' performance over 80 minutes. There were hundreds of special efforts throughout the night, but that one in particular from a Roger Tuivasa-Sheck winning a 2v1 battle with a torn hamstring, that's the top. That's at the very top of the list. And after that, he could not continue. He had to go off. So RTS.
There goes my hero.
Hey, your fans see it, baby. We appreciate you. Unbelievable work, brothers. Unbelievable work.
Roger's the man.
Roger's the GOAT.
He's a wonderful, wonderful specimen. And so are you, Shaun.
That was
Thank
a
you
good breakdown,
so much,
bro.
Shaun Hub. That's
Shaun Hub.
It's the things you don't see that I love.
yeah.
Shaun Hub, baby.
Oh, the things he does see.
I love
If we
footy
don't
chat.
see
We
that
don't
he
see-
sees,
yeah.
we can all now see.
I love
We
footy
get it.
chat.
You're right.
All right, we're going to be back on Thursday. You'll see a show of ours. Of course, we've got more matchups to come. And gentlemen, that's us for another
What a
week.
weekend of sport. What a cool show.
What an absolute winner.
Hope you enjoyed MVPs.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Navajo, who do I get?
Lambrongini. Look at the speed! Shaun Johnson! Aguero! It's over! Pass is intercepted at the goal line.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
Elliott hits it over the grandstand, and New Zealand are in the World Cup final!
Play on.